Chosen one, this message is not about the kind of love the world celebrates for a single day. It is not about temporary emotions or the pressure to feel complete because of a date on the calendar. This is about something deeper, something heaven has been preparing long before you ever realized it. Valentine's Day may appear ordinary to many people, but in God's timing, seasons carry meaning. There are moments when God allows alignment to take place after long periods of preparation, and many chosen ones are stepping into such a moment now without fully understanding why things suddenly feel different. You may have questioned why love seemed delayed in your life. You may have watched others move forward while your own relationships never fully settled. Perhaps connections started with promise but slowly faded, leaving you confused about why things never worked out. You may have felt ready, emotionally and spiritually, yet circumstances never aligned in the way you expected. But God does not rush covenant relationships. He does not build something sacred on unstable foundations. Before he joins two people together, he works on them separately, shaping their character, healing hidden wounds, and teaching lessons that can only be learned in seasons of solitude. The waiting you experienced was not rejection. It was protection. God was guarding your heart from connections that could have distracted you from your purpose or delayed your growth. Sometimes what feels like loss is actually divine intervention. There were relationships that seemed right at the time, but would have led you away from the path God intended for you. Kingdom marriage is not built on loneliness, fear, or desperation. It is built on spiritual readiness, and readiness often develops in quiet seasons where progress is happening internally rather than visibly. Chosen one, heaven prepares in secret. While you were focusing on healing, learning to trust again, and rebuilding your faith after disappointment, God was also working in another life. Someone else was being shaped through their own lessons, their own waiting, and their own process of refinement. Two stories developing separately, guided by different experiences but directed by the same hand. This is why your journey felt different from others around you. You were not falling behind. Your timing was being aligned. There were moments when you felt isolated, when it seemed like everyone else was moving forward while you remained in a place of stillness. But stillness is often where God does his deepest work. In silence, he teaches discernment. In waiting, he strengthens patience. In solitude, he reveals identity. By the time alignment begins, you are no longer looking for someone to complete you, but for someone who can walk beside you in purpose. That shift changes everything. This Valentine's Day represents more than romance or celebration. It represents a transition from preparation to recognition. Not everyone will understand it, because kingdom relationships are not formed through coincidence or convenience. They are formed through purpose. When God decides the season has come, things begin to move with an unexpected peace. Doors open naturally, conversations feel different. The anxiety that once surrounded love begins to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence that God is in control. You may notice that your desires have changed. What once attracted you no longer feels right. You are less interested in excitement and more drawn to stability and peace. This is not accidental. God refines your understanding of love before he reveals the person meant to share it with you. He removes the need for validation so that when real love appears, you recognize it without fear or insecurity. Chosen one, preparation often feels invisible while you are living through it. You may not have realized how much you were growing, how much your heart was being strengthened, or how your faith was becoming deeper through the waiting. But now you stand in a different place emotionally and spiritually. You are no longer chasing what once distracted you. You are becoming ready to recognize what God has prepared. When heaven shifts a season, it does not always happen loudly. Sometimes it begins with peace, a sense that something is changing even if you cannot yet see it. This is how divine alignment often begins, quietly, steadily, without pressure. And when the moment of recognition comes, it will not feel forced. It will feel natural, as if God simply revealed what had been prepared all along. This is why your story unfolded the way it did. not to deny you love, but to protect the kind of love that lasts. What once felt distant begins to move closer, not through striving, but through alignment. And in God's timing, what was prepared in secret is revealed in peace. Chosen one, kingdom marriage does not begin with pressure or confusion. The world often teaches that love must be chaste, proven, or fought for, as if struggle is the evidence of something real. But when God is the author of a connection, things unfold differently. What God joins together begins with peace, not anxiety. There is no constant uncertainty, no emotional exhaustion, and no need to convince yourself that something is right when your spirit feels unsettled. Divine alignment carries a calm assurance that replaces the fear of losing someone or missing an opportunity. When heaven schedules alignment, clarity begins to replace uncertainty. You may notice that conversations feel natural instead of forced, as if understanding flows without effort. There is mutual respect instead of emotional struggle, patience instead of pressure. This person does not pull you away from your relationship with God. Instead, they strengthen it. You find yourself praying more sincerely, thinking more clearly, and becoming more grounded in your purpose rather than distracted from it. That is one of the clearest signs of a kingdom connection. Your spiritual life grows instead of shrinking. A kingdom partner recognizes your spirit before anything else. They see the faith that carried you through difficult seasons. They recognize the perseverance that shaped your character. They understand the journey God has taken you through, even if they do not know every detail of your past. This recognition creates respect, and respect becomes the foundation for love that lasts. They do not try to change your purpose or compete for your attention against your calling. Instead, they support what God is doing in your life, understanding that love and purpose are meant to walk together, not against each other. This is how divine love differs from temporary connections. Temporary relationships often begin with intensity but lack stability. They rely on emotion alone, and when emotions shift, uncertainty follows. Kingdom love carries responsibility. It is not only about how you feel in the moment, but about how you grow together over time. It creates safety rather than insecurity. You feel free to be honest, free to grow, and free to remain who God created you to be without fear of rejection. Sometimes, before revelation comes, God removes what no longer belongs. Old patterns begin to lose their attraction. Relationships that once felt impossible to let go of suddenly feel distant. Emotional attachments that once held power over your decisions no longer control your peace. This is not loss, it is preparation. God often clears space before He introduces what is meant to stay. Healing becomes the quiet work happening beneath the surface, preparing your heart to recognize what is healthy instead of repeating what is familiar. You may notice that you become content in God alone during this season. The urgency to find someone fades, replaced by a sense of completeness in your relationship with Him. And paradoxically, that contentment becomes the signal that your heart is ready. When love is no longer an escape from loneliness but an addition to peace, you are prepared to receive it without fear or dependency. God prepares recognition by first bringing healing, because a healed heart can discern clearly. Chosen one, the revelation of kingdom marriage may not look dramatic or extraordinary from the outside. It may come through a simple meeting, an ordinary conversation, or a moment that feels unexpectedly calm. There may be no overwhelming emotions or sudden declarations, only a steady sense of rightness that grows over time. When God reveals something, it does not create chaos, it brings order. You feel safe being yourself. You feel understood without needing to perform or prove your worth. There is freedom in that kind of connection. You are not trying to impress or maintain an image. You are simply present. And in that presence, trust begins to form naturally. Divine alignment removes the pressure to control outcomes because you sense that God is guiding the process. What is meant to grow does so without force. Kingdom marriage is not about perfection because no person is perfect. It is about alignment, two people moving in the same direction under God's guidance, learning, growing, and supporting one another through every season. Alignment creates stability, and stability allows love to deepen beyond emotion. When two lives are aligned in purpose, decisions become clearer and the future feels less uncertain. And when alignment happens, there is no need to rush or force outcomes. What God ordains grows naturally. It develops with patience, strengthened by faith and sustained by peace. Chosen one. When love comes from God, it does not feel like something you must hold together through effort alone. It feels like something being built with you, step by step, under His direction. Chosen one, if this message has found you at this moment, it is not by accident. There are seasons in life when God speaks quietly, not through loud signs or sudden miracles, but through a deep knowing that something is shifting. This Valentine's Day is not simply another date on the calendar for you. It carries a different weight, a different meaning, because God is aligning your heart with His timing, not the world's expectations. You may have felt moments of loneliness or questions rising within you, wondering why love seemed delayed or why connections never fully aligned with the peace you were searching for. But what you did not see was the preparation happening behind the scenes. God does not rush what is sacred. He refines hearts before He joins them. The waiting was never punishment, it was protection. Every disappointment, every closed door, every lesson you walked through was shaping your discernment so that you would recognize the difference between temporary attention and lasting covenant. This season is teaching you that love is not meant to feel chaotic or uncertain. The world often teaches that love must be dramatic to be real, but divine love moves differently. It brings calm where there was anxiety. It brings clarity where there was confusion. When something is sent by God, it does not pull you away from your purpose. It strengthens it. And this is why your perspective has been changing. You are no longer impressed by words alone. You are beginning to value consistency, honesty, and spiritual alignment. This is not coincidence. This is growth. For some of you, this Valentine's Day will feel like a quiet confirmation rather than a dramatic event. You may notice a new sense of peace about your future, a release from the fear of being left behind. God is reminding you that what is meant for you cannot be taken by someone else. Heaven does not make mistakes in timing. When something is divinely assigned, it finds its way to you without manipulation or force. Your role has never been to chase love, but to become ready to receive it. There is also a deeper transformation happening within you. God is reshaping your understanding of partnership itself. Kingdom love is not built on perfection, but on purpose. It is two people walking toward God together, not trying to complete one another, but supporting each other's calling. This is why you have been learning patience and emotional strength. When the right connection enters your life, it will not feel like a battle to be chosen. It will feel natural, steady, and secure. You will recognize it by the peace it brings, not the intensity it demands. Some of you may experience a new beginning during this time, a conversation, an encounter, or a realization that opens your heart again after a long period of guarding it. Others may receive clarity that finally releases them from waiting for something that was never meant to continue. Both are forms of blessing. God often answers prayers not only by bringing something new, but by removing what no longer aligns with your future. And when clarity comes, it brings freedom. This Valentine's Day becomes significant not because of romance alone, but because of what changes inside you. You stop measuring your life against others. You stop questioning your worth based on timing. Instead, you begin to trust that God knows exactly when your heart is strong enough to receive what you once prayed for. Preparation always comes before promise. And now, many of you are stepping into a season where faith replaces fear. When kingdom love enters your life, it will not feel confusing. You will not constantly question where you stand. Divine love carries reassurance. It allows you to grow without losing yourself. It encourages your faith rather than distracting from it. And most importantly, it confirms what God has already been whispering to your spirit, that you are not forgotten, and your story is still unfolding exactly as it should. So if you feel a sense of anticipation right now, do not rush it. Stay grounded, stay faithful. Continue becoming the person God is shaping you to be. Because what heaven schedules does not arrive late, and it does not miss its destination. This Valentine's Day may simply be the moment you realize that love, when guided by God, arrives not as chaos but as peace. And when it comes, you will recognize it, not because it overwhelms you, but because it finally feels right.